Skincare culture is completely out of control. Everybody knows that the 10-step routine or the 20-step routine, ridiculous. Everybody knows these routines are completely excessive. There's plenty of steps that you certainly don't need, but it's very difficult for many who have lost the plot telling which steps do we keep, which steps do we throw out, and what exactly is the best way of treating your skin for the best results. In this video, I'll discuss 5 different things you do to your skin that are promoted as health practices or as healthy habits, but in fact are damaging to your skin, setting you back and making you rack up the L's. I'll show you exactly what's not working about these practices. And at the end of the video, I'll give away the absolutely essential skincare routine that'll supercharge your skin for less than $1 a day and less than 3 products, so do not touch that dial. Number 1, gentle cleansing. So gentle, or any other word that's attached to the name of the product, which is supposed to make it sound like it's safer or less harmful, is an admission of guilt without walking the product back. That is essentially what the gentle care industry is all about. There are other names that are attached to products to make the same claim sound a little bit less harmful, such as organic or all natural, or containing some sort of a natural ingredient. Those are all claims that are attached to products that are essentially harmful products to make them seem as if that version is not as harmful or in fact maybe even beneficial to the user. Now, the gentle skincare niche stemmed from the fact that people started using skincare products, specifically cleansers, which are abrasives from head to toe, and that resulted in sensitive skin because these products by default sensitize the skin by stripping off the skin barrier. They have zero benefit when done from head to toe, but sales were booming, money was coming in, so you couldn't very well walk back the initial claims and tell people that those products were harmful and did not provide any benefit. The solution was to come up with all sorts of descriptions for the products that made them seem less harmful, such as gentle, sometimes adding different ingredients to the product to make it seem more credible or more safe to use. And that opened up the door for using the same products essentially, or very similarly active products, which are still detergents, by people who have sensitive skin. Now, the fact that the product is gentle does, first of all, not mean that it's necessary in any way, shape, or form. So the head-to-toe cleansing still does nothing of benefit to the user, but by attaching the word gentle to the product, skincare manufacturers get away with it, and people still use those products, damaging their skin while getting zero value from the use. The bottom line is cleansing, as in using detergents from head to toe, is a harmful practice. It doesn't matter if the product is gentle, it's still doing damage, which is completely unnecessary, meaning there is no trade-off for using these products, so you're best avoiding them altogether, gentle or not. Number 2, exfoliation. So everybody seems to be obsessed with removing dead skin cells from the skin, as if those don't come off by themselves. Can you actually see the craziness of that mindset? This mindset assumes that the skin does not know what it's doing. An organ that's been around since the beginning of time, that actually took care of you since before you were born, that took care of all your ancestors, all of a sudden does not know what it's doing because there's a skincare industry that created a wonderful product called an exfoliant or a scrub or a loofah or what have you. All these assumptions are completely nonsensical. The skin sheds its own cells, the dead cells, yes, the dead cells, for free, 24/7. It does not need any encouragement or any push from you or the skincare industry. It's going to do its job just fine without you. And in fact, when you do employ physical abrasives such as exfoliants, scrubs, loofahs, washcloths, brushes, or even your own hand working in a circular motion anywhere on the body, you are causing physical harm to the skin barrier with no benefit to you whatsoever. There's no microbiological advantage. There's no body odor advantage. There is no health advantage to these practices, period. So stop doing them. Number 3, using water-based moisturizers. So just to clarify, moisturization of the skin has one primary goal, and that is to protect the skin barrier so it can recover and replenish itself so it can work for you once again with full force and protect your skin, keeping it together. Now, water-based moisturizers actually do a very poor job compared with oil-based moisturizers in doing just that. Why is that? Well, water-based moisturizers are based in water, so water conveniently evaporates from the skin very quickly or dissipates or gets absorbed into the body, leaving other ingredients on the skin to do what they do. And water-based products always contain emulsifiers and always contain preservatives. Preservatives can irritate the skin. Their effects on the microbiome are virtually unknown, so we don't know what they do to your microbiome. And emulsifiers by default solubilize the lipid layer and increase transepidermal water loss. There are other ingredients in water-based products that are almost always there, such as fragrance and color and other ingredients to make the product more nice and the experience of using the product more fun, but they certainly do not make for a better product. They just make for a better immediate experience with immediate emotional payoff and usually very little skin protection. Many water-based products contain ingredients such as glycerin or hyaluronic acid, which can increase water content on the surface of the skin, creating the appearance of a glow or a plumpness. That effect is pretty short-lived. So in essence, what they do is create this very quick emotional payoff for the user and dissipate very quickly after that, leaving the user high and dry, quite literally. This is not sustainable moisturization. This is mostly theater. So your best play in this scenario is actually go for an oil-based moisturizer. Oil-based moisturizers have their own set of problems. Many of them contain more ingredients than they should, and those ingredients also do not work for you directly. They're there to make the product more nice to apply or maybe add some preservative power to the product. However, using an oil-based moisturizer should focus on, first of all, the consistency of the product, making sure it's nice and thick so you can layer very thin amounts of it and not worry about the product dissipating or running. And the other thing an oil-based product must have is a very limited number of ingredients, specifically 3 ingredients or less, which is why I created Oasis Moisturizing Balm with 3 organic vegan ingredients: shea butter, cocoa butter, and argan oil, all active ingredients, all great occlusives and emollients, which condition the skin and protect it very effectively. I specifically created Butter Oasis as an answer to the excesses of the skincare industry. And as such, it's designed to answer all the concerns the user have about skincare products, specifically moisturizers. Number 4, the use of antibacterial soaps. Antibacterial soaps are everywhere and everybody's using them as thoughtlessly as breathing. The thing about antibacterial soaps is that, first of all, they don't really give you much of an advantage microbiologically, meaning they're very broad in their effects. They do destroy a large number of microbes on the skin, and those microbes, for the most part, are microbes that belong on your skin. They're part of the microbiome. That advantage is gone. Another thing that antimicrobial soaps do is they can irritate the skin. So essentially, you're getting no benefit, and in fact, you are disrupting your microbiome and maybe other elements in the skin. So your best move is to avoid antibacterial soaps altogether unless specifically advised by your physician to use an antibacterial wash or a cleanser for specific purposes of decolonization, treating an infection or another reason. But otherwise, generally, using antimicrobial soaps is a very bad idea. For soaping of the body, I recommend using a minimalist soap such as Kiss My Face olive oil soap, which is made with 3 ingredients only, and using it on a very limited basis right under the skin folds where body odor is made to address that issue. Generally, there is no need for antimicrobial soap on the home front, with very few exceptions. Number 5, indiscriminate sun avoidance. Now, this is going to be explosive. The reason why this subject is so explosive is because many people have sunk their entire careers on vilifying sun exposure and creating this equivalence of sun exposure and cancer. This was essentially a scare campaign, scaring a lot of people due to the fear of cancer and obviously the effects of sun exposure on aging of the skin. This promotional campaign, which is still ongoing, resulted in a pandemic of people that are averse to sun exposure. These are not necessarily people who have any problems with sun exposure. Some of them have dark skin types which do not burn or sometimes don't even tan. And these people are staying out of the sun as if the sun is going to bake them to a crisp the moment they step out in the sun. This pandemic of sun avoidance yielded a pandemic of vitamin D deficiency, but this is not the whole story. Sun exposure has many known and unknown benefits, such as production of vitamin D, lowering blood pressure, mood improvement, improved pain tolerance, anti-inflammatory effects in conditions such as eczema and acne, as well as possibly anti-carcinogenic effects. So this is not a one-way street, and therefore must be approached with moderation rather than the sweeping call to avoid sun exposure altogether. So how do you create that balance of getting sun exposure and minimizing risk? Well, first of all, you do have to know your own skin type. Are you a person who burns after a certain time of being exposed to sunlight? How long does it take for you to get slightly pink or red or purple the next day on the cheeks or on the exposed areas? Are you a person that tans? The real balance to strike here is to get about a third to a half of what it takes for you to get minimally sunburned. That slight pinkness, redness, or purpleness the next day is called minimal erythemal dose. That's a mild sunburn. You obviously do not want the sunburn. Sunburn is something you are better off avoiding. However, you can get about a third to maybe even 50% of what it takes for you to get there safely without even getting deeply tanned. You can still get the benefits of sun exposure by exposing your legs and your arms to sunlight a few times a week, observing those time limitations in the sun as they relate to your personal ability to tolerate sun exposure. Only after you've crossed that threshold where you think you're about to spend more time out in the sun and are likely running the risk of sunburn do you cover up, get out of the sun altogether, or maybe even use sunblock. When using sunblock, I do recommend a minimalist product called Waxhead, which is made with 4 ingredients: coconut oil, beeswax, zinc oxide, and cocoa powder for tinting. This product is fit for sensitive skin and is the least likely to irritate due to unnecessary chemicals in the product. If you're a person who's been deliberately avoiding sunlight for a long time, you may want to check those vitamin D levels with the help of your dermatologist or your primary care physician to make sure you don't have a vitamin D deficiency. You may be surprised by the numbers, and vitamin D deficiency is something that needs to be corrected very promptly because it can lead to issues including hair loss. So you're better off finding out your vitamin D status and setting that record straight. And now the moment you've all been waiting for, the routine. Well, in truth, it's not really a routine, but I'm going to call it a routine since it's replacing what was essentially a routine of many steps that you may have carried on with for a while. So here's the routine that I recommend. And the goal here, mind you, is not to wash stuff off the skin, cleanse the skin, make the skin better. The goal is actually let the skin shine and keep as much of the skin on it as possible so it can work for you and do its best work for you as it's designed to do. So the first point of focus is minimal cleansing. Ditch the soap, ditch the cleansers, of course ditch the shower gels and the body wash. Use lukewarm water to wash in the shower. You can use cool water. Avoid hot water, as hot water will scald the skin and can make it more sensitive, specifically irritating or exacerbating sensitive skin or inflammatory conditions on the skin. So lukewarm water at the hottest, and cool water is perfectly fine. You can use soap, as in Kiss My Face olive oil soap, under the skin folds to address body odor if that's an issue, but otherwise there should not be any other cleansing of the skin from head to toe, as that is a completely unnecessary practice that damages the skin barrier and provides you with zero benefit. If you're a workout person, no problem. Workout sweat from head to toe does not smell and does not need soap to remove it. You can wash it off with water. It'll wash out beautifully with water. And again, focus on the stinky parts, the armpits, groin, and butt crack, to get rid of body odor with a minimalist soap. Moisturize only as needed. Moisturization has boomed and ballooned into this category where many believe they're supposed to apply a moisturizer from head to toe. Nothing can be further from the truth. The skin can take care of itself. It produces its own moisturizing layer, which is the skin barrier. That can take care of the skin very well. But there are getaway dry areas, especially if you are a soaper, a scrubber, a cleanser, or what have you. You're still going to damage the skin. And even if you're a recovering cleanser, you may still need to moisturize those dry, sensitive areas. In for the rescue come the oil-based moisturizers, specifically Butter Oasis Moisturizing Balm. Petroleum jelly is another alternative. Just make sure to address those areas specifically and layer a very thin layer on those areas, as there is no need for excess or extra goop on the surface of the skin, which can only treat the air and stain your clothes or other inanimate objects in the house. What's interesting is once you stop cleansing, your need for moisturization will decrease dramatically within a few weeks after having stopped the cleansing. So watch out for that. and moisturize accordingly. Remove makeup or extra sunblock with coconut oil on a cotton ball and leave the residual product on the face to condition and moisturize the face. If you want to supercharge your face, your forearms, or your hands on the way to recovery from dry skin, use slugging. Apply a 1 to 2 millimeter thick layer of Butter Oasis Moisturizing Balm or petroleum jelly to these areas overnight, protecting the sheets with a towel under your head or with plastic wrap for the forearms and the hands to make sure you don't stain. And voila, your skin will feel and look amazing the next morning with a shine and plump with the skin barrier restored. So there you have it, 5 different ways of damaging your skin, how to avoid them, and how to get better skin for a fraction of the cost, or 2 or 3 products a day by simply allowing your skin to do what it does best when you get out of the way. Take care of business. Let me know in the comments section how this video has benefited your skincare, and how does your skin look after slugging the appropriate and proper way. Also, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe for more no BS skincare advice. See you next time. God bless.